Hello. Reasonable adjustments. Hate that word, reasonable adjustments. Because what does it mean? It means everything, anything, nothing. We're told that our schools or our workplace, because of our diagnosis or our suspected issues, we may have to make reasonable adjustments. Now that's quite difficult. It's difficult for the individual, it's difficult for the parents, and it's almost impossible for the schools or workplace. What is a reasonable adjustment to you may not be a reasonable adjustment to me. Now that may be because I'm thinking about costs or the logistics of something. And all you're thinking about is, I just need this done because that's what my child needs. So who's right and who's wrong? Neither, really. And that's why reasonable adjustments are so difficult. It's how does it impact on the individual? Because you have rights. Your child has rights. And it's back down to how long is a piece of string. And then it depends on how is it impacting you as a parent, how is it impacting your child. So what may be impacting you as a parent and really struggling for something to get done because of whatever the case may be, or that your circumstances don't allow that to be actually happen, so a reasonable adjustment has to be put in place. And the person, there might be another person in the same class, another family, who's going through very similar situations and are being told that the reasonable adjustments that we're looking at can't be made. They might think, well, that's all right, I can live with that. That's not a problem, don't have to do it. It doesn't mean that the school have to then ignore you because the other families felt that that reasonable adjustment didn't have to be put in place. The reasonable adjustment is per individual, per family, based on case studies. How long is a piece of string is what we look at when we're talking about reasonable adjustments. Is there a cost to reasonable adjustment? 9 times out of 10, reasonable adjustments are very easy to do and don't cost a penny. It's just a matter of rethinking. Some reasonable adjustments may cost some money, but we can't look at the cost first to say no. We have to look at the implications. We have to look at everything surrounding the area of reasonable adjustment. So, is it reasonable to expect a child not to go to school in uniform because their sensory issues means that their skin really irritates them, they're scratching, they can't think, they can't get into lessons, they can't have an education because all they're thinking about is this label or this material is really getting on my nerves, and spending all day trying to stop feeling uncomfortable because of the school uniform? Or is it reasonable to assume that we could make an allowance here? Common sense would say we'll make an allowance, but some schools' policies say no, school uniform, and we will wear them. We can make a little bit of adjustment, but overall no. Then that needs to be challenged if it is a case of we really can't do it. And it might be that we have to just get a little bit further evidence down the way to sort of say, this isn't my child just being awkward about school uniform, it really is causing them an issue and we're getting it looked into, but at the moment I would like this reasonable adjustment put in place so that my child can come to school and have an education and not worry. And we will try, because we're going to be accommodating as possible as well, we will try and get clothes that are as close to the uniform colours and everything else as possible. Because at the end of the day, the child doesn't want to be standing out. They're not being awkward. It's probably worse for them to be standing out than it is to wear a school uniform. But if we can't do it, we can't do it. There is an exception where we're talking about jewellery for girls, or even boys, where they've had their ears pierced and they want to wear their earrings. but the school policy is you can't wear your earrings in school. Again, is it really that important for one child, if that is what is needed to get them into school, that little bit of an earring, it might be that there's a pressure there. For some people, piercings through the bit up here helps with their headaches and migraines and things like that. So the child may have a piercing up here that it's more for a medicational purpose rather than a costume effect of, hey, I look cool because I've got these earrings in. And we have to be mindful. Maybe a nose earring shouldn't be looked at. Little subtle one in the nose here. Do we, don't we? Is it affecting their education being like that? Or is it a matter of we're being uniform, everybody has to follow these rules, otherwise we're going to have anarchy? Well, we could have, except we have to understand why certain things are affecting certain people in certain ways. And when we've got neurodivergent issues in the mix, maybe we should look at it in a little bit of a different way. But here's a rub. If we're implementing these rules, it's really solid. These are these are non-negotiable for our school uniform. Earrings are a no-go. But the person telling you that you can't have that has a nose piercing and has earrings in and has her nails done up. Can we really enforce that? Should they not be under the same rules as the school? If the school are saying this is it, then why are the staff allowed to do the same? Yes, it's their place of work, and so therefore I come to school dressed appropriately, I think, but if I want to get dolled up in my makeup and my earrings to deliver a lesson, then I'm entitled to do that. But you as a student have to do as you're told. But when we're talking about that, are we giving double standards? Are we giving mixed messages? It's okay for you, but it's not for me. Doesn't sound right. I can't get over that. My head does not compute with that because you are breaking the school rules. But the schools don't apply to you. Oh, so it does apply to some but not to others. Interesting. Just food for thought that a reasonable adjustment is individual, and it's you have to put your case forward as to why a reasonable adjustment should be made. And 9 times out of 10 we can get there, provided we think logically and reasonably, and challenge in the right way to why things are done, and not making it look as though it's an excuse, but it is a definite reason, and that if we can deal with this and we can do it and we put it in place, we do as we say, our child has more chance of staying in school, education, employment, whatever, than they would do otherwise. Thank you.